It's a Playboy affair.
All right. We're bringing it back. You haven't got one of these in a while. Let's talk the fly route. Huge shakeup in the NBA today, but the one I want to talk about the most, because it's the one that we predicted. Like, I went back to episode 9, DeMarcus, back when we weren't even on video, and Stan Van Gundy had been hired for the Pelicans. He did not get rave reviews on the Fly Route podcast. I can tell you that. Fast forward one season, he is out as their head coach. Zion is going on his third coach in 3 years. He should have his same coach for the third year in Alvin Gentry, but neither here nor there, right? Let's talk about it. What is the fly route for the next New Orleans Pelicans coach?
Well, we got to start with why Van Gundy is not there. I think that's the most important thing. All of the reports, all of the rumors, all of the chatter out of New Orleans say that he just didn't get along with the star players there. I don't know if it was Lonzo. I don't know if it was Zion. I don't know if it was Ingram.
There were active rumors about Ingram. Ingram was asked directly in May about this. And you know what he said? It's okay. There's a lot of, ups and downs. I'm not really used to his style, but he has some things that he's been able to teach me. Not glowing. Everybody has said, Josh Hart was even like, yeah, his style of coaching is not something that I'm used to or really mesh with. Like a lot of the players, that's something that kept coming up. Not that he's bad at the X and O's, not that he doesn't understand basketball. He doesn't connect with really well.
Young people.
Yes, young people.
Yeah, that was the report I heard as well. I have another report from the Times-Picayune who says that his mindset, his approach with the players, his mentality, the way he talked to them was all off. Not just Ingram, multiple star players did not like it. And so you got to start there. If I'm David Griffin and I'm looking at this team, Zion's going into his third year, fourth year, whatever, I want him to resign when this contract is up. I need to make him happy. I need to make the playoffs. I need someone who's going to be good.
3 coaches in 3 years is not a good start to re-signing Zion Williamson.
Not a great look. So I'm thinking about a coach who hasn't worked, because they love doing that, who has an ability to connect with players, who can still help them on defense, who can establish kind of the foundation for a winning program. You know where I'm going, right?
I am interested to hear it.
I'm about to beat this dead horse one more time. Mark Jackson should have this job. I think he would be a fantastic...
Hold on. Who?
Mark Jackson.
Mama, there goes that man. Mama, there goes that man.
He needs a job, first off. There's no reason this man should not have a job. Everybody else has gotten a retread, but Mark Jackson. So here's the deal. I think, number one, he's a great relationship builder. He helped form the core in Golden State. He was a part of some really tough Knicks teams and Pacers teams in the 90s. I think he knows how to bring along a young point guard, how to help him see the court. And Lonzo had his best season, and I still think there's room for growth for him in New Orleans. I think they've got to maximize Zion, right? Minutes-wise, rotation-wise, etc. He's got some health issues, concerns-ish. And then Ingram as well. Ingram had a great year. We thought Ingram had the skill set to be KD. After KD's performance last night, that seems like a ridiculous comparison. So I think Mark Jackson can bring the young core together. I think he can help them find what they do best and bring it out of them. And most importantly, is a great relationship builder. I have never heard any player say anything bad about Mark Jackson.
That's very interesting, because every time Mark Jackson comes up, we always hear the word politics.
Right? I think he fits in the New Orleans politics.
Oh, okay.
With the kind of the fans, the family who owns the team, etc. The kind of I love going to church mentality.
That family fucks with Chick-fil-A?
Yes. That will work there.
Okay. That is interesting to me. So the first thing I want to say is one person has to get a very, very, very strong look, and that's Theresa Weatherspoon. Familiar, right? She's a assistant coach on the team now. She played professional basketball in the WNBA for a couple years, 16 years overall when you count WNBA and overseas experience. She was one of the original players on the New York Liberty. Like, one thing that's very clear is she understands and she knows basketball. The second thing that is very clear to me is that all the players speak glowingly about Theresa Weatherspoon, and the whole issue you just had was connection with the players, being able to motivate them, being able to get them to buy into the scheme, and that is huge, right? If it is clear based off everything you heard from the players that this is a person that they can buy into, and you know they know basketball, they have to be at the top of your list.
So I don't disagree, but I think it's the wrong city for this. Right players, right GM, right coach, wrong city.
I don't think the city doesn't matter to me if they are winning. That is the thing. Because the city will always fall in line if you win. They will murder you if you lose. I do agree that if they did really badly with her, then it could get ugly. But I believe this is important to say she needs to be promoted within the staff. It is clear she needs a more leadership position in the staff. But the fly route for me is actually Jason Kidd. And this is the key variable. Point Zion is the future of New Orleans. That was the one thing that they got from Stan Van Gundy that needs to stay and might be worth it in terms of the overall year, is that Point Zion is the future of New Orleans. This might mean that Lonzo is a sign and trade target, or they're just going to have to let him walk, because even though Lonzo has taken massive strides in his three-point shot, can spot up, shoot the three, his greatest asset on the court is running an offense. And if you're going to go into Point Zion, you end up having to lose Lonzo. But I keep thinking defense. That was this team's problem. Jason Kidd isn't a defensive guru, right? But Jason Kidd's big thing is that, one, he is super into player development. He's the one that developed Giannis. Giannis playing power forward, but playing the point, basically engaging the offense for his team. Who put him in that position?
Kid's pretty good.
Kidd. Yeah.
I like Kidd.
Yeah. And the second thing is he's a legend to these kids. He's not old, rusty, and they think he's outdated. He's a legend to the current players. Stan Van Gundy was a legend to last generations of players.
Maybe.
Like two back. But seriously, so I think that he can create a large buy-in. He can be very popular in that locker room, and you have a lot of young talent you need to develop to the next level. And yeah, go ahead.
I don't have a problem with Kidd. He just seems really happy where he's at. I mean, he pulled his name out of the Portland job. I don't think that he wants to leave.
He pulled his name out of the Portland job because Dame actively said, he's the person I want. And he pulled his name out because he was like, I don't feel comfortable, and you won't feel comfortable running a search when the guy with all the power in your locker room and in your organization said he's the guy I want.
So that makes a lot of sense. Another possibility I had heard was that Kidd may have talked to Dame and asked the question of whether or not Dame was going to stay in Portland long term, like guaranteed. Like, will he resign when his next deal comes up? And he didn't get a yes.
Oh, I did not hear that.
I heard that was a possibility. And I mean, I don't know if it's just people who want Dame to leave Portland saying that or what, but it doesn't seem too ridiculous if that kid could reach out and have that conversation, and Dame might say, I don't know what I'm going to do. And if I'm Kidd, I stay away from there too. If I'm not going to Portland with no Dame.
I agree. I had not heard that. And that makes a lot of sense. But his name popped up in a lot of other coaching vacancies, and he hasn't actively withdrawn his name from anywhere else. So that would make some sense.
That's fair. Now, Weatherspoon. Not Weather. Listen, I think from what you say, you know more about her than I do, but it sounds like she is very deserving of an opportunity to be a head coach in the NBA. I just don't know if New Orleans is the right place. This is very much a football town, so that gives her some cover because they're more forward about the Saints and the post-Drew Brees era. But if it goes bad, which this team has never been good, so it could go bad.
It is most likely going to go bad no matter who gets the job.
It'll be used as an excuse not to give more women coaching jobs in the future. And that's the one thing I don't want. I want that, whether or not it's right or wrong, I think that's what will happen. And so I want the first woman to be a head coach in the NBA to be successful right out of the gate. I don't know that New Orleans is that situation.
Okay, I'm going to be real honest with you. You remember when Stephen A. Smith was like Stephen Nash getting the Brooklyn job as white privilege?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just like he shouldn't be a head coach in the NBA, but his first head coaching position was a Maserati of a team, right? And frequently you don't see a lot of minority candidates get in the Maserati. They get the Honda, right? And they frequently make that Honda overachieve Nate McMillan and get fired anyway. Nate McMillan, and then somehow lands himself a Ferrari with Trae Young and Atlanta, and we see what he's doing now.
Or even hell, Monty Williams.
Yeah.
Another example out of New Orleans.
So I'm just saying that shouldn't be the reason why we don't give women head coaches their shake, because someone has to break the ceiling to make it happen more often. I think Becky Hammond's at the forefront of the possibility to break that ceiling for good reason, but like I don't want to ever hear like they won't get more jobs afterwards, so they shouldn't get this job, because the job that you're generally thinking of that you would like them to get into, they ain't usually getting anyway.
And I want to be clear, that's not what I'm saying should happen. I think that's how the other owners in the NBA will take it if that's what happens. I think it's a more prediction about their mentality than how I think it should be. I don't think that should be the case. I think if she's deserving, she should get the job.
I'm saying that mentality is the reason why they will never get the ideal job that you have in your mind in the first place in most situations. We just saw Steve Nash get the Brooklyn job with no coaching experience, right? And Steve Nash is a Hall of Fame legend, one of the greatest point guards to ever play this game. It's not like he's unqualified.
I'd honestly rather see her go to Portland, which I think fits so much better. See?
Interesting. Interesting.
I'll say that. I think the fly route's Mark Jackson. If they want to go the traditional mold, but I think she's a great choice. I think Kid's not a bad choice. I just think he may want to be somewhere else besides New Orleans. That's all.